Yo, what is going on, peeps? Hope you guys having a fantastic, late afternoon, early evening, depending on where you live right now, you guys. It's gorgeous. We chilling and we're talking about a new episode of Hawkeye, episode 4. Man, guys, man, oh man, we are getting along the way. We're already 4 episodes in. We got 2 more to go, and I heard episode 5 and 6 were just fucking bonkers. And after watching the ending of this episode, I firmly fucking believe that. And
Mhm.
it's kind of funny. Yeah, guys, spoilers, by the way, here on out. I know we do that sometimes, but whatever. We'll consistently do it when we can. But what I got to say is I kind of want to just talk about that ending real quick because just the general thought about it because I saw a lot of diversion on Twitter about Yelena Belova, and people are like, "Oh my god, this is the craziest fucking thing in the world." And I'm sitting here, I'm like, "You guys, it is?" I'm like, "We literally all guessed this when Black Widow came out.
Yeah.
She was coming in Hawkeye." And then literally when the trailer for this week's episode came out last week, they had like some comic book out. Like, how is anyone shocked? I mean, anyway, so yeah, what did you guys think about that ending? Like, Yelena Belova is like in the mix now. Do you think how much of a part is she going to play in these next 2 episodes? Really, I'm just glad to see my girl back. That's all I got to say. Deebs, what do you think about Yelena coming back at the end of this episode? And where do you think she can go?
We all saw it coming, right? Everyone saw it coming. And I think my piece of it was all set up. It was all set up. I kind of, even Maya was like, I'm out of this fight. And then you saw Yelena. And I liked how she like saved Kate there at the end. That was really neat. And vice versa. I think my favorite moments of this final fight scene wasn't even about Yelena. It was actually what Kate's decision. And it was a moment between Clint and Kate. That being said, Yelena, like it was a little anticlimactic on my end because I knew it was coming. Last week they kind of like spoiled it that there's a new character reveal coming this way. We all know that Spider-Man comes out next week. We all know there's a big bad coming out in the very near future, probably in the next episode. For me, it should have been more epic. It didn't have any emotional weight on my end. I wasn't like, yes, it was just kind of like, even the action scene was not that great. It was
Really?
way too dark. Yeah, dude, it was.
You didn't like the action scene? I'll agree.
There was nothing amazing about that action scene.
I'll agree. It was a little dark, but like other than that, I thought the choreography was really good. I enjoyed it personally.
It was pretty average given Avengers level. So for me, I was excited for Yelena. She's the best. What it means for the series, what it means for the Young Avengers, what it means for Kate not taking that final shot. That was probably the best part of this episode. That little speech between Clint and Kate saying, Clint especially, the best shot he ever took was the one he didn't take with him and Natasha. There were so many parallels in this episode. This was one of them. And then when Kate didn't take the shot to Yelena, and Yelena was like, "No, you don't want none of this." Like that was pretty cool. But they're going to become best friends in the very near future. And that was a really kind of cool, foreshadowing between those two. Those two are going to kick ass in the Young Avengers in the very near future. So I was really happy for those two. That being said, I'm happy about what's kind of being laid as the groundwork, as the foundation for the MCU moving forward. The series, not so much.
Okay, interesting. What about you, Loretta? What did you think about the whole Yelena introduction? And what do you think about her role going forward within the next 2 episodes?
First of all, I gotta put my dukes up because that's my girl, boy. That's
Wait,
my. I'm just kidding. Florence Pugh. I mean, yeah, like Dive said it. We knew it was coming, but man, if I didn't jump out of my seat, I gotta pause you there, Dives. I know we're on the opposite sides of the spectrum here, but I loved it. I thought the choreography was excellent, and I also felt like we got the emotional weight from Black Widow. So this is, I think, this is like critics and casuals' problem with MCU shows and films right now is that if you miss one, you're lacking, right? So anyone that hasn't seen Black Widow does not understand the weight of the situation. But for me, we don't need to explain why Yelena is going after Clint. Like in her head, she thinks that Natasha was killed by him. So that's her motivation. And for me, she came at him hard. And I also thought it was interesting that, Clint is a seasoned warrior himself, but he was on the ropes a little bit, taken aback by her. And also, like, I think we are really seeing, like, he's truly passing the torch. Like, Clint's at the end of his rope. He's not Steve Rogers. He's not superhuman. He's a human being, and he's getting a little bit older. He's been through so many battles already. Especially with Echo getting the best of him a week or two prior.
Right.
We're seeing Clint's like fighting abilities start to decline, and Yelena was getting the better of him. So I thought that emotional impact for me, it hit. And I didn't even like Black Widow as much as others, but Yelena was like the saving grace of that picture, for being honest.
No,
so I kind of disagree there, but at the same time, I do understand the climatic nature of it, especially not having any sort of dialogue or sort of lead into the next episode. She kind of just disappears. Echo kind of just walks away from the fight with like zero inclination of why she left or why she has no interest in getting back in it, considering how she was also motivated to kill Hawkeye. So
she said, fuck that shit.
There was a lot of drama left on the table, I think, there. But I gotta say, guys, shouts out to that parallel, the one that everyone's talking about. Twitter's talking about it. Yeah. The internet's in an uproar about it when Kate's hanging off the ledge.
So good.
I wasn't ready for it, man. Especially seeing a brief, especially getting kind of like a PTSD moment, like a blink of Natasha. Go ahead, man.
Did you hear the score in the background too? They had the whole Vormir score in the background.
That punched me in the gut real good. It gets you right in the feel. So for me, I really, really liked the ending of this episode. Minus kind of like it kind of left us hanging, which I think most TV shows tend to do, right? But for what it was, I liked it.
I mean, that's the thing about a TV show is you got to keep them coming back every week.
Yeah.
Why are you gonna stop the episode on a conclusion, right? I mean, that's the whole point of a series fucking finale. No, what I do want to tell you guys is I don't know. It's weird. I'm glad that my baby girl back. She back in the MCU. It's only been a few months.
My baby girl.
Not, I'd say our baby girl, but you being a little bit of a hard ass, so my baby girl. So that's all I'm gonna say to that. Is I'm just glad she's back, and I like the fear that the Black Widow clan has to Clint because he understands how deadly they are. And it's kind of funny to see that in this show in particular, because I think they've shown very well that throughout these first pretty much 4 episodes, because she didn't show up till the end, he's pretty much a hard ass, wasn't afraid of anything. He didn't fear anything. He was always ready to fight. And it's so weird to kind of see the other aspect of him that you never really see too often. And yeah, it's a short, brief moment, but because it is that, anticlimactic ending, what's going to happen next week type of thing, is I feel like that's when we're really going to get into it and like what his thoughts and opinions are. And I think it's nice to know that the post-credit scene for Black Widow takes place 2 years later after Endgame. Now, I guess you can kind of start piecing it together just for contextual reasons, I guess you can say, because let's be real, if you're watching like Black Widow in a specific order, you can watch this movie probably much later just due to that post-credit scene. But anyway, I'm getting far off of track there. But other than our collective baby girl, Yelena Belova, I was going to say baloney for some reason.
Yelena Baloney.
Don't know why. But Yelena Belova, our baby girl, our savior, is back. Other than that, I think this was a great character episode for building the foundation of Kate and Clint's relationship. I like the whole like Home Alone type of stuff of them just chilling in the apartment trying to figure out things to do while they're waiting out, and Clint's just healing and stuff like that. And it's nice to kind of get a little bit of a break between Echo's introduction, Yelena soon right after that, and pretty much Kingpin. Like he's pretty much introduced in this show. We just have not seen a face. I just got to know, guys, what do you think, or how big of a role do you think Kate's stepfather, what's his name again? Jack. How big of a role do you think he's going to play in this season? And then how big do you think this might turn into as a collective whole in the MCU? Deebs, we'll go straight to you, my man.
Not very big. I think we've been on this with these reviews. I think it's even more solidified here. You saw Kate's mom make that kind of like random phone call in the middle of this episode. It didn't go anywhere. If I had to guess, if I had to put the puzzles on the board, I would say Eleanor called Val, and that was to say, hey, Clint, you got to get a hit on this guy, Clint. And then Val met with Yelena at the end of Black Widow in the post-credit scene of Black Widow, and that's how this started. I think that phone call was where this train.
I also think her mom. I also think her mom, if she's not in it, she knows about it.
No,
I don't think she's in the dark. So
no,
because we've definitely mentioned this in the past, where I feel like by the end of the show, I definitely think Jack's gonna die, but it's only gonna separate her and her mother more and make her mother more of that villainous role. And I feel like I heard something, if not in this episode, in a past episode. Man, what was it? It was connecting to the mother.
Eleanor?
Yeah. Why I can't think of it. You know what? Just forget I said anything. It just like I lost it in my mind. But Loretta, what about you? What are your thoughts on Eleanor, Jack, where you think his role is gonna go, and just like his staple in the show as a whole?
Well, to be perfectly frank, I don't know the comic history to actually to really know what's going on. But at the same time, I do appreciate that this episode examined Kate's emotional attachment to not just her mom, but like realizing that I like that we got that moment where Jack and Eleanor were dancing, and you could see Kate feeling bad because she knows the dude's probably bad, but she loves her mom. Obviously, she's seeing her mom happy, and I love that she said like, "Wow, I haven't ever seen you like this," and she's like a little schoolgirl, all giddy and like in love and stuff like that. I thought it was important to see that. Again, there's some emotional things happening here, Dives. I'm surprised you didn't appreciate it more, but
let me touch on that after you're done.
But yeah, I'm curious. I don't know if I see Eleanor being linked in with what's her name, Val.
Val, yeah.
Yeah.
I actually thought she'd be more linked in directly with Fisk, but at the same time,
I'm
terrible with theories. So
no, there's no question. There's no question that Eleanor is in the know with Fisk, and Jack thinks that he's probably manipulating her somehow. But what's going to happen is that it's actually Eleanor that's on the in with Fisk, and
yeah, that was my thinking. So
yeah, Ryan, you there?
Yeah, I know I'm lagging.
Right. Well, I think for me, like going back to like the emotional moments, like I agree, Ryan. Like this episode, if anything else, gave Clint a lot of much needed character depth. I think the whole episode was just like a direct reflection on Clint's guilt over what had happened with Natasha and how he fears for Kate and what that means moving forward. But I just can't get over. There's something about the writing, the editing, and directing in the show that I can't. Loretto, you of all people know I'm a Filoni guy. Like character development is like my favorite shit ever. If there was a show about character development, I am all in every single time. There's something about these two characters, Clint and Kate, that is just not connecting for me. I don't know if it's the writing for Clint. I don't know if it's the editing, and it just has not clicked for me at all. Even the ending of these episodes are not good. They're not. They don't sell me to get excited for next week. This is a show that would be much better to binge versus watch week to week by far. So for me, I think they're really good. I'm not saying they're bad shows. This is a bad show. I'm not saying they're bad episodes. Episodes 3 and 4 have definitely been a step in the right direction for me. But there are real writing issues here that I can't ignore. And I think that's why I feel so disconnected. Like the Christmas thing feels so hokey. Like if this was like about, strictly about Hawkeye getting home to see his family for Christmas, like it would be so heartwarming and like I would be definitely have an emotional connection with that. But it's not. There's something missing. There's something missing in this show that is not making me love it. And I don't know what it is.
Disagree, Candid Cinema, but okay. Go off, guys.
This is the first time me and like Loretta are gonna agree on something, or like heavily agree on something, because I gotta tell you, man, I don't know. I'm buying it.
I was giving you pounds.
Outside of the Echo origin with that intro, which was literally like 3 minutes, there has been nothing like amazing. There was a couple moments in episode 3. There was a couple moments in episode 3 that were awesome. I can't deny that, and we talked about it during the review. Outside of that, it's been a huge miss. And I'm not saying, when I say huge miss, it's not like terrible, but I'm saying it's kind of like pretty average MCU content.
Man, so I got a question. Do you think it's average because of where the MCU is going, especially with No Way Home right now? Or do you think it's average because just overall it is an average show?
I think it's about we're retreading Black Widow, which we're beyond that now. We're well beyond Black Widow.
Are we though?
Oh yeah, we're definitely well beyond Black Widow.
No. Is it like following Black Widow is what I'm saying? Because right now we're getting into the underworld crime of New York City, like some real Daredevil Defenders type level shit. I mean, we've got Kingpin. That's exactly what this was leading up to. And Loretto was either Loretto or Deebs that said that they think it's Clint's time is coming to an end as Hawkeye. But like, I agree he might be done as Hawkeye, but I don't think he's done in the MCU. I think he's going to go on to the Echo TV show. And I wish they did a little bit more with him losing his hearing. I hope they touch on that a little bit more. I really like that, or I think there's something that can really be developed within that little section. But yeah, I just want to ask you guys,
man. Jeremy Renner, like, he looks so tired. Like, there's nothing emotional about his character. I think that's what it is. It's like he just looks like a tired character.
But you see, that's the thing, though. I don't know if I can blame Jeremy Renner or the writers, because everything that I know from the comics, he's a pretty bland character. Like, he quips and stuff like that, but like for me, his quips never like landed. So it always seemed like a hard way to transfer a character, because like if you watch any Renner's other work between Arrival and everything else, like, bro, he's such a good actor. I mean, Wind River with him and Elizabeth Olsen, fucking so good if anyone's seen that movie. You know what I mean? So it's hard for me to like really think it's Jeremy Renner. And if you guys have ever like seen the commercials for that new show he's in, Mayor of Kingstown on Paramount Plus, like I haven't seen the show, but like he's doing really good in that show. Like I'd watch it when it's done or something if it's a limited show, because like he looks like he's acting his ass off as like a hardcore fucking mayor. But like I just think it's the character himself that is just a giant sufferer of like a boringness. You know what I mean?
Maybe like just there's nothing that is making me buy into this series other than Kate, who is absolutely terrific. The Eleanor and Jack storyline, don't care. The tracksuit gang, don't care. The only thing I care about is Kingpin, and we know it's only going to be like this little bit. It's going to be a taste that probably sets up Echo, and everything else. Probably that is kind of the appetizer for Daredevil as well, to get Charlie Cox into Echo, and that's going to be kind of where that goes moving forward. So I don't know where this show is going, other than setting up the Young Avengers, which I'm so excited about. Yelena,
baby.
Yelena, Kate Bishop, them leading the Young Avengers is going to be awesome. Miss Kamala Khan, Chavez. You have probably Nathaniel Richards. If that happens, that's going to be so amazing. I'm just kind of like, we know that's happening. We know that's going to happen. I'm just like, maybe that's just like me, like being like an asshole in 2021. Like I just want it already. And I'm just waiting for it.
Dude, I want the whole just lineup of MCU movies and projects already. If I'm being honest, like, bro, if I had, that'd be one of my wishes, is just to have every single. Like, if a genie asked me, I'd be like, bro, if you had to use every single of my wishes for this one wish, that's fine. Just give me any MCU film that'll come out in history, and I'll just watch it. That's it, bro. That
in the house.
That is it.
What up, Geekly Goods?
I'm sorry, Loretta. What were you saying?
You're good.
My pretty.
Everybody, please like and follow Geekly Goods if you don't. I just want to speak to the averageness and to some of what we were talking about here with the show, because some of the negative aspects I do agree with. But really quickly, I think the problem with the MCU, and this is not just Hawkeye, this is going forward. Like maybe She-Hulk, maybe Moon Knight, maybe even Miss Marvel. It's all gonna be under a microscope, and it's so unfortunate that the series in itself, like all the 22 films and the 4 or 5 whatever shows we've had, the quality is almost there's a bar here, and it's like I'm not saying Hawkeye doesn't meet it, but it's such a high bar that I feel like it's almost unfair for some of these shows to put it on that pedestal, regardless of Jeremy Renner or who. Like, you know, I'm excited to see Oscar Isaac, but like it doesn't matter who's in it. It's gonna be analyzed to a T, and if it doesn't go a certain way, I think it's gonna affect us in our perception of the show. So with that being said, I do agree, Dibes. I think that this show, the way it's written, I think it's falling into the problems I had with Falcon and Winter Soldier.
Yes, exactly.
Where there's a lot going on, and Falcon and the Winter Soldier left us with more questions than answers, and it wasn't really tidy when we got to the end of that show. Nothing against that show. I thought seeing Sam as Cap was great, but how we got there was rough. And I will also say that I think the weight of Florence Pugh maybe like made me feel like I'm not saying she's the best cameo so far, but that had so much more weight than seeing Sharon Carter or Zemo for 5 seconds. So between the two shows, I don't want to say which one's better than the other, but I feel like they have similar issues. And I agree with you, Dives. It may come down to the writing. So we'll see how the next 2 episodes wraps it up.
Loretto, do you think she's like the most hype like cameo, I guess you can say, out of all the shows so far?
Absolutely.
No,
based on her star power alone. I mean,
do you want to listen to my fucking question, bro? God, you never want to listen. What I'm trying to ask you is, do you think because she's the most recent, most beloved character,
I think
that's why?
I think it's also just what a good actress she is. Because I mean, she's been in like feature films on her own. Whether or not MCU casuals
so is Jeremy Renner.
In my opinion, like nothing against Daniel Bruhl or who was in WandaVision, Evan Peters. He's more of a TV guy. I don't know. I think she just has the most star power of all the cameos we've had.
No, the Black Panther, having that reference in Falcon and the Winter Soldier was way more. Okoye. I can't think of Okoye. That was one of those moments I was like, yes, we're there. Like that was way more for me impact than this review.
Before we get into like our final thoughts and grade for the episode, I want to ask you guys, what do you guys think of Linda Cardellini becoming a spy?
Yeah, I agree with that, Ryan. You're right on it. There's no question that she definitely had parts of Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. She definitely has, I'm glad you brought that up because that is definitely the vibe they put in this episode. That watch was hers. There's no question that, Hawkeye's trying to get that watch to erase all traces back to his family. So that was a really cool moment. I'm really glad you could pick that up.
Isn't that fucking insane that literally a character you've seen like countless times already in the MCU, she pulls out one fucking thing that makes her look like a spy, and next thing you know, we all think she just works for S.H.I.E.L.D., and there's just this long list of things we think she's already done that just kind of appeared out of fucking nowhere, but we're kind of sitting there just like, yeah, this is fucking right. Bro, they would not – bro, Marvel, Kevin Feige does not just give people fucking things for no reason. She's holding that because she's a spy, and she clearly knows what she's doing. They make that obvious because Clint does not help her. He tells her what to do, and she very clearly does it. But Loretta, what do you think about Spy Cardellini?
I love it. I think it's great. I've always liked her. She's been a great actress going back to Freaks and Geeks, Scooby-Doo. And I'm not saying it's not because it does seem a little shoehorned in a little bit, but she's great, and I like their dynamic, like how. Over the phone, like, hey, honey, run this for me. And she's like, I got you, boo. And she's also like, okay, get home quick. Like, she trusts him. And there's like a dynamic there that's really fun. Like, imagine if James Bond had a wife at home, right? So I like it. It does seem a little on the not cheesy, but like, it does seem a little bit forced. But I don't mind it just because I like the two together.
I was gonna go the opposite. I think that's the most like probably natural relationship in the entire MCU. That's how good they are together. Like every time they're not even together on the fucking scene, and when they're on the phone, I just like fall in love with those two. They are like perfect.
Hey, she stole my heart in Age of Ultron, man. She can do no wrong.
I'm Agent Cardellini. Shut up, bro. Get back to the fucking review. Nah. But I gotta say, I wonder if they got like if they're doing this now with her character, like I can't really see her character going anywhere without at least Clint. So if Clint goes Echo, I see her going Echo at least. So I do hope that happens. But guys, episode 4, out of 6 have been released. And you know what, Deebs? I know you're feeling feeling a little high and dry, my man. I think you need a Snickers bar because you're not feeling me very much lately. And all I gotta say to that is, why don't you give us your final wrap up thoughts and a grade, my man?
Man, I've been giving some negative reviews here.
You
need
have,
to
bro.
go
Drink
watch
some
my
Happy
Arcane and Wheel of Time reviews where I'm just like glowing. I'm literally glowing on those shows. This is a solid like 7.5 out of 10, 7.8 out of 10, something around there. Again, I have nothing but pure excitement about where this show is moving forward after this series ends. It's kind of like Falcon and the Winter Soldier. I'm excited for the seeds that are being planted. That being said, there's nothing emotional about this show. There's no the threats, the villains. I'm excited for Fisk, but I don't know how much that means for this show moving forward. For this show, so we'll see. For me, it's I'll say a high C+, high 7.8. That is the best I can do for this. Most of it's boring. It's bad writing. Even the fight scenes, there's terrible. It's way too dark. I can't ignore those things. So that's my thoughts. I'm sorry, guys.
What about you, Loretto?
Well, as we've established already, I like this episode a lot. It's my favorite this season. I actually liked the climax. I liked the final fight, and I think I'm in agreement with that. The best of this show is probably to come, whether it's 5 or 6, and we'll see where we end up. I'm kind of worried if they're going to stick the landing or not. So I'm not holding my breath for that. But for this episode alone, I loved the Christmas party. I loved Kate's starting to kind of like show like she always acts like she doesn't care what her mom's talking about. She doesn't care about the stepdad Jack, but really I think she wants her mom to be happy, and I liked seeing that dynamic between them two. Vera Farmiga is great, and I'm also kind of curious of what her fate will entail for Kate's journey. So with that being said, this episode got me a little bit, especially with the Natasha parallel hanging off of the roof. I'm going to give this an 8.679.
We're not
doing almost a B
versus series here, Loretta. I don't have the calculator out for this.
I know. I just want to throw those numbers in there just to poke you a little bit there.
We all make it difficult when Deebs has to pull out the calculator, but
I know
that. What I gotta say to this is, man, Deebs, I just want to know what would cause you to grade something like a 1 out of 10. Because if you said all this shit and gave it like a 7.5, bro, I'm sitting on the edge of my seat because I'm giving it a 7.5, and I'm speaking so highly of it. And I think it's kind of funny to see the different weights and different perspectives in there.
I guess it depends on your expectations. Like my timeline is like,
I had no expectations going into this show.
My timeline is filled of like, this is the best show yet. Like this is amazing. Like that's my timeline. And I don't see it. I don't see that.
I'll definitely say it's slowly creeping up into my top 3. I don't see it beating WandaVision, but that's all I'll say for now, baby. That's all I'll say for now. Who knows? But yeah, I can't wait to see what they do with Fisk. I can't wait to see what they do with Echo. Man, these next 2 episodes are going to be fucking bonkers from what we've been told. And yeah, guys, before we wrap out, I just want to say we got our Christmas draft this Saturday. All 3 of us are participating. So come and join us at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. It's going to be a fucking blast. And yeah, later that night, give more details on Spider-Man Week that starts on Saturday with our Christmas draft. And yeah, stay tuned for our entire schedule. I know I went down a little bit on Monday, or what was it? Tuesday about it a little bit. But yeah, guys, thank you so much. Don't forget to leave a like, comment, and subscribe, most importantly. And we'll see you on the next one. Peace.